Who said my money's on Jack?
Everybody, and they were right.
Yeah.
You're always right. It's always you.
Yeah, true. See, I dropped my spoon in my drink. God damn it.
You just have to drink some more and then you can reach your spoon.
What you drinking, Jack? Looks like hot chocolate or something in a glass.
No, just some milk. Right, hello and welcome back to Let's Drone Out.
Sorry, I have to interrupt. If it's just milk in a glass, then why is there a bloody spoon in it?
And why is it brown, Jack?
Yes.
Sorry, editor. And action.
Scene.
I don't know what that's about. No. Right, hello and welcome back to Let's Drone Out. Tonight we are joined by everyone's favourite curry kitten.
Hello.
Any chance of a disclaimer, mate?
Quick, put it on the screen and I'll read it. Any views expressed by any guests on this show are personal and may not reflect the views of others. Thank you.
The person that brought you the box of shit, Andrew / Frank.
Hello.
Boo.
Boo. The sexiest man alive, NJ Tech.
Evening. Oh, sorry.
I'm glad you jumped in there because I was like, we'll get him one of these days, but he's getting quicker at it. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you all.
The second sexiest little Twinkie in the box, Andy RC.
Good evening.
Very popular amongst certain communities.
What? What does that mean? Looks like your wire's trying to spell out that community to me, almost. Carry on.
My secret delve into that community, my wife, my little person that I play hide the vegan sausage with.
You wish. Bonjour.
Tony, and I'm your host, Bright Until I Fly, or one of. I don't know.
We're all hosts on here, Jack.
Yeah.
You're the main character, though.
Definitely a character, yeah.
What's a lovely, welcoming start. Look at all these lovely people in the chat saying lovely things. Oh, I see that HPI guy, Rich.
HPI guy, Rich is in the chat. Win Davis. Double A.
Richard Warwick might be a bit disappointed, but we'll see. He said NJ Tech's on, so we're going to be talking proper quad stuff.
We can only try. Yeah. I'm not hosting. They'll just pick me out if I try.
So the idea of tonight, I don't know how much we'll actually do of this. We'll see what's actually happened. But back in March, when I wasn't on the show a lot because I was doing loads of stuff at work, I was feeling left out and decided that I would cause trouble by sending everyone a box of weird junk that was laying around in someone's model shop, essentially. So I think you opened them all on the show where there was all sorts of various bits and bobs.
It was high COVID time and everyone was scared, and we were opening them with face masks, bleach, gloves.
And then my one didn't arrive for like another 2 days anyway. It missed the cut-off point.
Yes.
I've somehow got to fit this into there.
But yeah, so that was about 6 months ago, and we said because Western Park had been delayed to this weekend, middle of October, and we said, well, what we'll do is we'll get everyone to build something out of it and then bring them along to that, because we'll probably all end up going to that if it's safe to do so, which, it'll be October by then. That's ages away. It'll all be over by Christmas. That'll all be sorted out, and we'll run them together and see what happens. That hasn't quite worked out, but about a few weeks ago anyway, we kind of said, we'll still kind of show them on the show what's been going on with them. So I think there's some various levels of development with these.
Yes.
Thank you, Zero.
Thanks, Zero, for
Thank you,
your
Zero.
$10 donation.
Hang on, let's light all these at once because
That worked well last time, Jack.
Keep your hair out of the way, mate.
Yeah, no worries. Oh, that's lively. Hey, 5 in Zero. I'm glad you got the stickers. What did you think of them? Are they good? Are you happy with them? What have you stuck them on? Please buy more.
I'm putting mine on my new toy.
Your new toy?
Which is?
I bought an Inspire.
Have you?
Yeah, I always wanted one.
You won the
Tony,
lottery?
I'm so proud of you. Quad-related subject, and it didn't have a bonus.
Where did Tony get all this money from? It's unbelievable. He's so rich.
He bribes people and that, and
It's the
government. Yeah.
Cheers, Boris, for my Inspire, mate. Cheers.
Oh God! What are you doing with your Inspire? Where are you going to be poking that into, Tone?
I don't know. I've just always wanted one, and one come up with 2 controllers and 3 batteries. I was going to get the X5 camera, but I was talking to Ed, who we've had on the show before, and he's got a $3,000 Apple Mac, and he said it would my PC would struggle to render and make videos. So I just went for the X3 camera, the little white one it come with. It's still pretty good.
The Inspire 1 or the latest one?
It's the Inspire 1, but it's got the Inspire 2 motors and stuff on it, so it's kind of a bit of a mix, but it flies all right and works all right, and yeah, I've got spares for it. I've even got the gimbal plate for an X5 camera if the future I want to put an X5 camera on it. So
it goes slightly differently from your last idea of putting naked GoPros on 95mm quads and the slightly bigger city whoops. Are you intending to fly this indoors at the next maker meet? Just actually blow everything off the shelves this time.
Watch out, I'm coming. No, but I can put mount a GoPro on it for different kind of views. Filming the drone. Yeah,
it could probably lift quite a lot of stuff. That thing.
Yeah.
I will say. Well, I will say something that I kind of can't talk about as a subject just yet, but I will on LDO talk about something very interesting related to DJIs and airports and the likes. But I will say, I have it on good authority that the is it the Aeroscope system? That was it, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, Aeroscope is very much active and working. This is not me, by the way, we're talking about, nor am I going to say asking for a friend, because then that sounds like a really good friend. I got all my DJI quads.
Friend.
I got the handcuff marks really hurt. What I will say, I will leave. I knew you'd go there. I will. I won't go into any more detail than that, but there will be something at some point soon where I will be talking a little bit more about that. Knowing a little bit more. Yeah, from behind bars. No, I actually sold all my DJI drones ages ago now. I think when you were looking at getting a Mavic Air, Andrew, I think it was, I sold mine before that. So however long ago that was when I got rid of my stuff. So I have no DJI drones. Do not start speculating that it was me. It's not. But I do know someone that has had an experience with the authorities, and it was very revealing, and they were very forthcoming about saying that yes, Aeroscope is working. It does work, and the response time, if you were to fly anything DJI within the perimeter of or the no-fly zone, the response time is frighteningly fast. So yes.
So what is this?
Because
my flying field is right on the edge, and it says, "Do you have permission to fly here?" And I just go, "Yes, yes."
Yeah, well,
expect to visit soon.
make sure you do, because it's got that Aeroscope system. It tells quite a lot of information. It will have the drone serial number. It will have a very, very good idea of where you are and what you're up to, and from that they'll be able to work out who it's registered to and all that kind of stuff. So but I do know of an incident where it was a response time of within the perimeter, sort of under 5 minutes of
What?
of-
My dad broke his leg. It took 3.5 hours for a
well, this is
frigging
it.
ambulance to turn up. Yet you can fly a drone in a field legally and it will turn up in under 5 minutes.
But when you say legally, you're saying, yes, I have permission to be here.
I have.
This
It's
is
a
why I
flying
register all my
field.
stuff in
It's
Jack's
just
name.
it's just literally on the boundary.
Well,
And where
this
I'm standing, I can fly it legally. So I said yes.
so
and
yeah.
yes.
Just be careful that all I would say is to anyone doing this with DJI stuff, if you're in that slightly precarious position of I might be there, the best thing you can do, if that's somewhere that you'd like, the best thing you can do is turn around and retreat another mile and fly there instead. The second best thing to do, which is going back to the situation that I'm aware of, is actually to write to the local ATC, email them as we do these days, and get in touch with them and say, this is what I intend to do with this drone. I want to be here. I want to do this. And you might be quite surprised by the response. As I say, I've got a really big, juicy story on all of this, but I have to wait a little longer before we can talk about it. But I'm sure you'll be excited when we get to doing that. It is a pretty cool story. But yeah.
Tags are off. Talk
I'll put
about
the lube away then.
I'm gonna after this goes off live, I'm literally gonna have to retreat from our little studio as fast as possible because I'm gonna now get a million probings from the LDO crew here wanting to know what that's about. Andrew knows a bit, but yeah,
I do as
we'll
well.
find out soon in due course.
And although I'm not part of the Butt Pirates, do you want to talk about your Twitch? What you've been up to, flying away on your Microsoft Sim?
Oh, I joined that last
New
week.
friends?
It was been great. Well, obviously the release of Microsoft Flight Sim. I'm not sure how many of you have gone out and got into this because obviously it was. I've never seen a flight sim, be it pertaining to any areas of flight, whether it's our hobby lot or a digital combat simulator or Microsoft. I've never seen anything get so big that it actually sold out the hardware across the whole country. Like no one could get a flight stick in Argos. Wherever you wanted to go and buy flight controls, they were sold out everywhere. And they were actually being profiteered on things like eBay because everyone actually went mad over the new release of Microsoft Flight Sim. So a lot of people have got it. It is brilliant.
The new bog roll.
Yeah, but flight sticks. Yeah. How will I survive without my T-Flight HOTAS? So yeah, that's I've been doing a lot of flying in that, which has been brilliant fun, and yeah, I've been doing an awful lot of that. But I have got a Twitch where I do most of that, and it's a bit of a weird name. I'll put it in the chat if anyone wants to drop me a sub. I'd be very grateful. Come and watch me fly around with it. And one of my good friends is a commercial pilot who flies 777s, although he's not doing a lot of that right now, obviously, because there's not a lot of demand for transatlantic flight, funnily enough. But he's often in there with me on the flight, so you can ask a commercial pilot some questions. Sheldon, the drone doctor, as many of you know, in Brighton, up the road from Jack and Tony, he's also doing his PPL at the minute, and he's in there too. So we've actually it's real.
Sheldon.
We have a laugh and we mess around as well. So I'll drop the Twitch in the chat. Come say hello.
Ian, the commercial pilot, flies the most erratically and irresponsibly out of all.
That's the best bit, isn't it? Yeah. Who's the most sensible? Me, and then the commercial pilot's inverted flying in front of me.
And then
in a Cessna.
He's in somewhere.
Yeah.
On a runway.
Of course.
Very, very amusing times, but definitely give NJ Tech a follow, because once he gets to 50, he can get to affiliate, and it's quite a good watch. It's quite late at night, something good to relax to, and usually it's quite funny, and it's always good to. It's always good to see what you guys are getting up to, and you learn a lot. Weirdly enough, Ian passed on the knowledge to NJ.
Yeah, how to fly upside down in a commercial 7.
Yeah. And
it's often him mocking me. I'll say, right, talk me through, the vertical speed I need. What do I need to do to get on the ILS for a nice approach? Blah blah blah. And he'll say, well, what you do is you put the throttle all the way in and you pull back 90 degrees, and he'll just go and do some loop and he'll just take the mick out of me. So
Inverted.
they call it. I have learned all the different models of aircraft that do and don't have coffee cup holders.
Yeah.
That's all I learned.
it is.
Hours of whinging about this hasn't got a coffee cup holder. I've been looking for it.
And which commercial plane has the best footwell heaters was another discussion. All the stuff that you wouldn't think are important to pilots. Yep. Which airline has the best coffee?
I'm just gutted they're getting rid of the jumbo. I love that plane.
It's gone already. Last Thursday, last flight out.
They've getting rid of BA. Have got rid of theirs. Virgin have got rid of theirs. You can actually buy bits now on. I can't remember the page, the YouTube page. That's one, but you can buy like windows, and they're about 250 quid each.
They'll break them down.
Yeah.
Take all the good bits out. They can sell like the nav systems and blah blah blah, and the rest of it will just be scavenged basically. But the that particular one, the very last one that went out, I think had 59 million miles on the clock.
They never crashed.
Just to give you
an
idea of. Well, there has been 747 crashes. Yeah, there was.
I thought I watched a documentary when they basically said it's been flying 35 years with no crashes.
No incidents. Oh well, that's entirely possible. There's definitely been 747 crashes. You know which one?
Maybe that meant that particular 747s, which is quite typical because after a 747 crashes, typically it doesn't fly anymore.
Yeah. And Andy, you thinking of the Tenerife one because that was the worst one in
the Tenerife one,
history.
but also the Lockerbie with the B word in it.
Yeah, well, that didn't really do it on its own, did it? Or
Tenerife one was classed as the worst ever crash ever, wasn't it?
Still is.
Was that the one into the sea?
No, sorry, go on.
It was two. Yeah, it was two that went. It was basically a KLM flight and a Pan Am flight, and one was on the runway getting ready to take off in very low visibility. The other one was coming in to land, and the one that and there was some confusion. I think someone pressed the radio comm button and talked over another person in what is essentially a two-way communication back then. And the pilot who should have waited just started this takeoff roll, and the other plane was coming in.
So human error,
hit each other.
Not the plane.
No,
nearly always is human error. It's so rare that it's.
Yeah, I was talking about like plane design or whatever, because I know that one of them a Virgin plane flew over a volcano, and literally all four engines had to be shut down, and they restarted each one and flew home.
Yeah, basically it's essentially what's happening there is it's turning into glass inside the engine, and then when you get to a lower altitude, when it cools enough, it will shatter and fall off, and that's how they managed to relight them all. But yeah, the volcanic ash is generally bad news to fly over. Try and avoid.
Yeah. So right. They have not failed mechanically. God, that's how many miles has that 747 done?
I think it was 59. There was two that left at the same time for the final flight out. One was 59 million, and the other one was 39 million, I think.
Over what, 30 years or 35 years? What was it?
It's a lot of them are built in the 70s. They've got overhauls.
Amazing plane.
Yeah, they have big overhauls, so that it's not like it was built and it's just done that all in a row.
Yeah.
They have a lot of revisions, but these planes are like a fine wine. They get better and better with age.
Yeah, I mean, they're still going to fly them, carrying freight and stuff. So
they're flying them in America. A lot of the Virgin ones were leased, and they have gone back to America to be repainted. So I think it's just because it's a small fleet in the UK compared to America.
Such a lovely plane. I always wanted to go on one and never ended up on one. But never mind. I love in the 380 at the moment. That's not very good at freight carrying.
That one's been cancelled as well, Tony.
I know. All the big bloody... It's all the efficiencies down to these longer planes with bigger engines. And,
Is it the A350 can do double the range?
Yeah.
No, sorry. Is it? It's 50% more efficient than
Yeah.
the 747, something like
It's
that.
a twin engine with a big engine. It's like it's a little bit scarier, only having less redundancy.
The whole reason that kind of came to existence is basically to do with moving transatlantic, and initially two engines wasn't enough to qualify as safe, which is why you then had things like the TriStar come along, which they just stuck a engine on the tail, and then the 747 came along, and then eventually later, once you found out the kind of odds of losing both engines are quite insane, they actually went back to saying twins fine, and the twins are the most efficient, like the 777. So even the biggest of planes moving forward will be twin engine design, because cheap fares is what rules the aviation industry now.
But what's done for the A380 and the 747 is the death of the hub and spoke model, right? As the twin engine jets have got longer and longer range, now that they can fly from London to Australia, it's, why would you need to have a hub in Germany and a hub in Dubai and a hub somewhere else to be able to get there?
Absolutely. And it's been done as well. Interestingly, the actual trend in jet design or turbine design now is actually very high bypass air. So the air that goes around the actual jet engine itself, that's why these engines are getting so much bigger. You've got your main turbine in the middle, and then the big fan at the top pumps some of that into the turbine to keep it lit and spinning, and then a large section of that outside of the turbine but inside of the cowling is what's called the bypass air. That bit is getting bigger, which means they're getting super efficient, high bypass, like the big General Electrics that are in the latest version of the 777, which is the X model. Again, even more bypass and even more efficient, and quieter. So
Lovely.
Interesting.
Lovely planes. I love
Apparently the bigger engines make them very tricky to land because of the aerodynamics at slow speeds. But anyways, right.
That's why the wings are so clever, and they adapt so many different shapes is for exactly that kind of stuff.
Aren't the carbon fibre wings made in the UK as well? I heard.
Well, all the parts of all these planes are all made in different parts of the world and assembled in, I think, France. Some of them.
I think the UK make the carbon wings on the 777s and the Dreamliners. Yeah.
Yeah, NJ, how's your penis?
And he brings it back down. It was really going well. It wasn't drone, but it was still flying. And then
look at that.
All right,
just like that.
It did great.
So, Jack, I hear that you've done something with the stuff from the junk box, right?
Yes.
Would you like to present it to everyone?
Oh, that's how he was getting on to
I'm slightly afraid to touch it in case the bits fall off. Hang on.
That would be more on brand for LDO, I think.
Back in the gutter.
Do we need a Jack close-up?
I saw how many wheels we had in the box, so I built something with wheels. This hasn't had its masking tape removed. It's the first time I've ever painted a painted this model. That was quite interesting. So much so, I got my friend to do it. But yes, I've built a mini Guinea, and the whole idea of it is it's got a hatch in the back of it, and I can fill it up with the crap that was in the box of crap and drop it into a bin.
You had much more in your box than mine. I didn't have any foam and those two nice motors. And I expect there's a speed controller and all sorts in there, isn't there?
Yeah, it's weird.
Why yellow? Why custard or British Telecom yellow?
I was going to say this. So the Mini Guinea, for anyone who doesn't know, is the twin motor cargo flight test foam board sort of cargo plane with the rear door that dumps stuff out. And Jack's built it and spray painted it. Yeah, kind of rhubarb and custard yellow.
Can I say something here? Sorry, I've got Jack. If you can hold that just so it's straight and level in front of the camera. That's it. I've got to say, if you were to remove the wings and the tail and write Trotters Independent Traders on the side of it,
Bonjour.
I know, yeah. Very
it's
much
exactly the right yellow. It is exactly the right yellow.
It also looks suspiciously the same colour as double yellow
I-
lines, Jack, and I'm just wondering where he sourced the print from. Carry on.
It'd be some
And
heavy
the three
paint.
wheels. Look.
Yeah.
Such
I know,
a
yeah.
line.
Do you remember when they painted that Chinese?
Yeah, big glow. Yeah, big glow
it,
paint.
it glowed in the dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Those two servos are the same. Thank you, Frank. And I couldn't actually fit the 22 motors in here, so I had to get some.
You could have made it a tri-motor and stuck the big one on the middle or on the tail, like Enzo was
TriStar.
saying about the TriStar. Yeah,
Well, that's what I was kind of thinking. Maybe we could put a little
pusher. the
but then
ATU,
it
right?
would eat the I don't know. I might make a small little box and cut out. But yeah, so that's the whole idea. And then I've got I don't know whether anyone feels kind enough to give me an extra servo from their box so that I can get stuff out. But yeah.
Fraser's asking, does it actually fly? Well, I think you just proved it.
That was it. That was
Landed
the
on bed
maiden, right
beautifully. That was it. Yeah. I've got to say, Jack, that's pretty awesome. Actually, I think you've smashed it there. That
Yeah.
looks like it's going to properly fly and everything.
So yeah,
New Wings has chimed in there. No wing reflex, no COG, no money back, no guarantee.
Love it.
I might write that on there. I was thinking about being really wanky and getting like my pilot ID thing, like T0 NY 15 G4Y, you know, and like putting the and drawing some windscreen.
Say me that number again. I'll just write that down, put it on the side of my drones as well.
You really don't want to, NJ, trust me.
Spills Tony's gay. So, yeah, but I might actually do that. Trotters Independent. I don't know. It was. I don't know whether any of you are familiar with the back in the day flying at Hidden Valley, but we got this friend called Simon who's a bit of a geezer from South London, and he bought something called the teleporter, which I've still got the plans for, but essentially, like, I painted it the same color as that teleporter. There's a video that on my YouTube of me. He was just doing like figure of eights, and we were just following it. So that's about it, really. I successfully got a working Moneagle and got a refund from Vanguard. So
that's your monitor, was it?
my monitor's over there. That's the other thing I've been up to. But yeah, I done it. I built that with a friend, and yeah, had a good time, and sprayed it and that. Admittedly, I have got to finish it, but please don't shout at me for not using fully. But any of the wires and stuff like that, and the wheels and everything was all scavenged from the box. And there's a servo from the box. The only thing I might do is use the use the ESCs from the leftover ESCs from the the rat's nest.
Mm-hmm.
If that's all right, Frank, because they won't actually, like, I nicked an ESC for the what's it called? The Bixler. So I nicked a 25 amp ESC for the Bixler because Sheldon, Butt Pirate 46 that NJ flies with, nicked my ESC. Username. Stole one of my ESCs. So the box of crap has been very useful, but I don't think I'll be able to fit this in. I should have built an ordinary size Guinea, really, but I'll put a mini Guinea in the hope that once I'm done with it, Frank might take it and adopt it.
Well, well done, Jack, for doing that, because everything is still in my drawers. But I literally just got wheels and a raggy motor.
That's what everybody got.
I want to hear about Curry Kitten and his strike that he got today, please.
I think we should talk about Andy RC and the fact that he didn't even build his own.
Look.
Let's not talk about that. I want to hear about.
And Andy gave all his to Phil.
I gave
as I remember.
I gave mine to my friend Phil because he would be able to do something much more interesting with it because it got an EDF in there. But
I think you won, Jack. I don't think anyone's done it.
Well, Curry's been up to something, surely.
I like to think that I entered into the spirit of this much more than a certain shaggy-haired person up the top right of my screen there, because what I wanted to do is use only stuff in the box if I could. Now, this is a problem. We don't understate the fact that the box is actually full of absolute shite. Now, there's lots of wheels. If you're short on wheels, you're sorted. If you want horrendous greasy bits of lump of random metal, brilliant. If you want actual components that work on RC vehicles, you're a little bit stuffed. But I took the 2 bits of relevant stuff, which were some motor and a servo, and I built what I call the fucktard. What we have here now.
Is this what you've got a strike?
Yeah.
Just to be clear, this is the actual box it came in. Because unlike Jack, who cheated and used foam board, this is the box.
Curry
So this is the motor, and that motor mount is mated out of cardboard. The best material we've got. This is the prop that was in the box. Look, it's still got the price on. It's £1.
My box was full of motor mounts. What's happened there?
Yeah, well, the motor mounts didn't work, and this is the servo down here. So what I had here's all the wheels, loads of wheels.
I can't see the logo clearly.
So what I found, I had some bits of steel.
That's amazing.
I couldn't even cut this, it was so hard. So I had to wind it round. You will see this is literally a piece of wound steel on a servo, and this is my steering front wheel, and it's driven by this awesome motor, which may or may not work on 3S. And then I found crappy ESCs and receiver. There you go.
I absolutely love it.
Did you solder it or tape it?
Nothing is soldered. This is entirely held together by hot glue and tape.
And hope.
And hope. I have a video. What's best, YouTube video or sharing my screen? I can prove it works.
Do you know what? What I'm worried about here is that the same thing, the same object that was responsible for giving you a copyright strike on your own channel has now infested and infiltrated the LDO channel. We just post it to people that we want to demonetize.
YouTube doesn't like it when your video title is fucktard. And they saying this has been I said the link, didn't I? This has been classed as adults only or something. There it is. Look
at that.
How it works.
This is very impressive.
Can you explain
for everyone listening along? So this is about 150, 200 mils square of just a sandwich of cardboard and mounted, and it's sitting on top of 3 great big tricycle wheels, so with a steerable nose wheel. It looks like it's got 2 ESCs on it, but I can't work that one out. And just got a load of electronics sitting on top of this pizza box of
stunts
cardboard
as well.
It's amazing.
A little mast on the back with a great big motor and prop on it, and it's blowing itself around Curry's.
I'm sorry, but Curry Kitten wins hands down. It's literally everything from the box is actually made something, and it's actually pretty cool. Sorry,
you know
Jack. This is brilliant.
I really want to do one of those, those 80s overhyped toy commercials just for this thing. That's what I want to do. I want to make a commercial for this.
Brilliant. It works really well.
One
You
of
just
those
need
really-
to flip over, flip over after
You
crash.
need to get some overexcited kids and be like, "Oh, mummy, I really want a fucktard for Christmas."
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
I can show you it in Dangerous now. We've got front wheel steering.
Look at that.
I tell you what, you have got some turning circle on that, Wayne.
It's got power. It will make mincemeat if you do things to people. I'm not sure if this motor's rated for 3S. I couldn't find any documentation, but I just plugged it in.
It hasn't blown
Blow
up.
up.
That's fine.
That's bloody
It's fine.
brilliant. Well done.
Very good.
Well
Thank
done.
you.
The fact that you've made it out of the box is just genius. What a master stroke.
Now put Open HD on it.
I reckon stick a couple of wings on that. You see two other sides of the box, and you never know. It might fly.
It could
gold
happen,
wings.
I suppose.
Hi, Wacky Wes from Hong Kong.
Hello. I'll send you some stickers.
FPV SE asks, when can I buy this from Banggood? I'm assuming this is the prototype.
I'm sure it won't be long before they clone it, and it's called
Yeah, exactly. It'll be on there.
it's the
Half
Ishin Sexy
hour?
Time or something.
Half hour. Brilliant.
Oh, that's
Oh,
genius.
yeah, Numbskull suggests putting a parachute on it, so having it like a
Yeah.
paramotor.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a great
Amazing.
idea.
Great.
Might work. Got some carrier bags.
It's got to be on the same level of material. So carrier bag is a good one.
Carrier bag.
Yeah, some sort of bin bag, and
Or the
see what happens.
shipping bin bags. The grey.
I think you need to pick a vendor, like pick Tesco bags or Sainsbury's or Lidl perhaps. So Lidl Flight Properties
be
might be
Lidl.
better than Tesco. Yeah.
I got detained by the police for having a Sainsbury's bag, so clearly
Actually.
that's like,
To be fair,
I
you
would-
did have it over Lily's head, so
and we're dragging her inside your house at the
oh,
time.
no. I'll give
Do you know
them
what? Go for the little bags, and then when it flies, we can upgrade it to the little fucktard.
Well, put it this
Yeah,
way: it's not like I'm going to take stuff off it because I'm desperate to use the high quality stuff that's there. So there's nothing stopping me at some point putting a carrier bag on it and just seeing what happens. My only slight word of worry is that in order for it to go along, I kind of need it on like a street, which could be a bit dodgy outside
it's a
when
bit of a
people
blender.
see this death machine coming along. But we'll see what happens.
Can't you build
Get round to it eventually.
and then zip
Richard
tie?
Warwick's got a good name for the Banggood clone. The curry
Curry dog.
frame.
I need a
Nice.
wee. I'm literally wetting myself here. I'll be back in a minute.
My friend Phil, who made the dog poo bin fly, has just texted me and it says, I could learn a lot from Curry Kitten. So there you go.
So, can we say this is officially thinking inside the box?
Way.
It's not the first time I used a box. When I had problems, I had the Buffalo FX79, great big wing that I got from Hobby King, and I had immense problems flying it. Literally, I spent a long time building it, and I went out with my friend, and he launched it. It's just literally this brilliant parabola curve where it goes up, goes like that, and blows apart. And then the same thing happened again on the second flight. And it's a long rebuild every time because the foam just went poof, exploded. On the third time, we got it flying. I was flying with another friend there, and we were using the MFD autopilot, and we were tuning that up. Landed it. I'm like, we're ready to go. Let's have a proper flight. And the MFD just went, and all the servos started going crazy. And I then decided I was going to make the box into a plane and see if it would fly better, which it did. I used the. What was that wing that Hobby King, not Hobby King, Flight Test did? I used one of their ones. I think it was the Versa wing. So I flew that, and that was much more successful. The only problem I had with it was that if you use fully cardboard everywhere, then your wing surfaces are a bit floppy, as I found out, because it's like you need to pull up a bit. I was like, my stick's all the way back. Stop pulling up. It's coming. So the landing looked like this. But hey, it worked.
Lawned up. Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
nice.
Cardboard is underrated as a material.
Can't you like stiffen it up with a bit of carbon fiber or glue or something? I don't know.
Yeah, we
wood,
could have
paint
done,
it,
but
something.
by the end of
Quite
that day
possible.
of flying it, we decided it would be best going out with a bit of a bang. And I think it was nice and easy because it just folded up and went in the recycling bin at the end of the day.
How
Easy
convenient.
transportable.
Or wing you want. Exactly.
You know, if you make going, sorry, I can't quite leave the subject of the fucktard, but
Someone take a
if you make,
soundbite of that.
I mostly called it that just to give the editor a bad day.
yeah, it's very rare that he's having to edit me out as well. So good work on that. I was thinking, well, if you just use Lidl bags for the parachute, then obviously people think it's some kind of Lidl drone delivery service. It's brilliant. Think of it, their Twitter will be lit. You've got to do it.
Can you imagine if you do use it or something, heaven forbid, something awful happens and it makes the local newspaper like weird man, like, you know, injures OAP with homemade drone named Fucktard. Just like, oh,
Even
dear.
better if they went with the
Like
angle.
victim, he'll have like a bandage around his head. He'll be holding this up, pointing to his head, saying, "I've been fucktarded." I don't know.
Someone will like you'll crash into the
That's my
biggest
dream.
meathead.
Oh,
And
dear.
it will be like fucked hard. I think it's an insult.
Eat your
like
heart
it.
out, Tom Stanton.
Oh yeah, there
Yeah.
you go.
You and your fancy engineering and your 3D printers.
Yeah.
Couldn't have done that, could you?
Don't need none of that.
Carbon,
Hot glue,
CNC.
bit of tape. It's all good. I was channeling my inner Tony with that tape. Just like stick it down,
it.
it'll be fine.
It'll be all right, mate.
I'd just like to point out mine wasn't a speed build kit. I got the plans, I cut it out by hand, I messed up the wing and then had
Jack,
to cut it out.
anything
by
you
hand.
say is not going to make a dent on this.
I know.
I'm afraid.
God damn it. You just, as soon as you name anything fucked hard on this show, you've won.
On a technical level, Jack, you won, but fucktard's captured our hearts.
No,
Yeah.
no. It's the crowd favourite. Everyone loves a fucktard.
I think it fits in very well with the sort of LDO aesthetic.
Very much so.
And the principle of the competition.
Aesthetic.
Exactly.
Aesthetic, ethos, way of life. Encapsulates it perfectly.
It just hits a 10 in every category, doesn't it? Let's face it.
I love Wynn's
All the
comment.
boxes.
What
Or
was Wynn's
someone
comment?
contacts the CIA to report a drone with the number fuck_tard so that they could they could track it. When will they let us bloody you like choose our own name? You should be able to buy your own like number plate.
Vanity registration numbers.
Yeah.
They should, shouldn't they?
Well, considering that you've got to have a new one every year for some reason,
Oh,
probably to make more
I
money.
didn't know that, Andy. Is that true?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
why they're saying make
Just put
sure.
stickers on them now.
Oh man, I've printed off 1 million of this year's.
and
What?
there's Jack like,
His.
etching into his frames.
Jack's had a tattoo of his and everything. What?
Oh, Jack, you didn't think that through, did you, mate?
No,
all
I've
right.
written it in Sharpie and everything.
It's all right. They're going to have to stop that because at some point they're going to get to the end of the Excel spreadsheet, and then they're not going to want to keep giving
Yeah.
out more numbers.
As we
I
all know,
know.
you can only have 1 million columns, as we've now found out in an Excel spreadsheet.
16,453 or whatever it was. 2 to the
Oh,
14.
what
whatever it was.
idiots.
Oh, dear.
Incompetent. Frank, what did you make?
I didn't get a box. I sent you boxes.
Yeah.
So-
Oh, I think we should combine all our boxes together of what's left.
Yeah, you can have all the
You can
leftover
make
shit.
To make something out of that, yeah.
Be something with a million wheels and oil.
It's like a load of exhaust pipes.
Have you seen Mr. Shady's comment? Will it be going in the sim? That's a brilliant idea. Please put it in the
mate.
curry sim. You've
And
got
it's got
to.
Can we have a dog poo bin in there as well?
I said the dog poo bin can go in the sim if someone can draw me it. Because if I drew a dog poo bin, it would just look like a rectangular red cube, which is not going to be that exciting and won't say Andy RC on the side of it.
That would make no sense if you did that way, and people would not understand why that bin was in there.
I don't think many things make sense in it. It's like
Nah, fair enough.
desert floating in the middle of space. So why are there buildings here?
Might be an interesting model name though to have that what you built in the sim. You know, you've got the plane, you've got the quad, then you've got the
Todd.
interesting. Yeah, I don't even want to say it because you know it's one of those things that I mean, you shouldn't really say it anyways now, but you're getting away with it. Give it a year.
Yeah, true.
I mean, YouTube already gave you a strike for it, so that is dedication to the hobby and the show. Well done.
It wasn't the intended, it was what I called it in my editor. So I didn't change the name when I uploaded it to YouTube. And then YouTube sent me a nasty note saying, we don't like your title here. And yeah, they said your video has been age restricted. Your video, Fucktard, was flagged to us for review. Upon review, we've determined that it may not be suitable for all viewers and it be placed behind an age restriction.
Yeah, that WAP video, no age restrictions, got 300 million views. So that's, that just shows you what YouTube's priorities are, doesn't it?
I would like to think that some actual person on YouTube has seen it and said this is not for people, but I don't think that's the case. I don't.
Robots.
As far as I can tell, there's about 4 people work at YouTube worldwide. The rest are just robots.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
Same
Sure.
as fakes.
So Andy, do you know if Phil's done anything with the box of crap yet?
He's got, oh man, that Phil has got just insane ideas, and I think he needs more time, basically. I told him, there's no pressure to do anything with the stuff in the box, but I gave it to him because, there's a lot of good stuff in that one, EDF and that, and he's got some crazy ideas, and I imagine, see what Curry's done is just, he's probably there now with scissors and all sorts of stuff.
Like a Blue Peter thing.
But I gave Phil the box, and within half a second he went, "This is Martin's." So he knew where you had it from. He knew where you had it from, which I thought was hilarious. It just shows how it just shows how small the world is as well, doesn't it? Where because apparently it was the price tags that gave it away. Everything had an individual price tag, and that was something that he specifically does and is known for. And he was like, "Oh, that's cool. Got price tags." And that was Martin. But I've told him there's no pressure because this has been a crazy year for me. And Phil has really, dug me out of a hole this year, as have you guys.
Being a top mate.
Phil needs his own channel. I want to. Shall we keep that on there for a while? No, I've told him. Yeah, the thing about Phil is he has these crazy ideas. He does them, and then it goes nowhere. He just does it for his own amusement. And the fact that I've caught a couple of them on camera. Are you laughing at this one, NJ, by any chance?
I am laughing at that one.
What, Mr. Shady? You want its own channel, do you?
Shady, that is going to be a sticker.
The way that windsocks work means that they do actually have to be able to bend.
Yeah.
With that sock,
It'll be constantly fucking windy.
Yeah, it's constantly 50 knots everywhere.
So
I can't believe I'm doing this. Hang on.
So what Mr. Shady has suggested is to use a wank sock as a windsock.
Yeah.
Which way up would it be? Would it be like that for a sticker?
No, the other way, surely. It's like a windsock where
just make sure that you are always downwind when you use it, Jack.
Fucking hell. This has been one of my favourite shows in a long, long time.
Because we're all
Tony,
here, man.
you've got an extra week to do stuff with your gubbins. You could do all those wheels and combine it with your Inspire and just take the Inspire for a drive.
Okay,
Yeah.
Andy,
I will try to do something.
I've got it official here. I'll sort it proper. This is off Phil. I'll sort it proper. I did think about doing a 1 hour challenge. Phil, if you're watching this, just do not put so much of your time into this. You are such. He's got a lot to do. Anyways, but
Well,
yeah.
there's quite the benchmark has been set.
Oh yeah,
levels really. So, you know.
Why is there smoke in front of Jack?
Jack is on fire.
No, it's fine.
He's
Jack's
become.
already-
He's bored of the show
It's
now.
not enough that he's doing a podcast. He's got bored of that and is now doing some
No,
soldering instead.
I'm just trying to finish the mini guinea. Nothing to see here. Just some
Unless you
ESCs.
fly a circuit around your room, you're not going to beat Curry's, I'm afraid.
I think even that wouldn't. It'd have
Yeah.
to be more. It
There's a
needs to be
wank
more.
mountain in Germany. Have you been? FPVSE? No. Email briantilifly@gmail.com. Drop us a pin. We're gonna dive the wank mountain.
Yet another bucket list location for Jack.
Yeah.
If my quad crashes in there, I'm not retrieving it. It can stay there.
No.
Bucket list is not the right word to use.
Careful you don't knock yourself out with that sock, Jack. G-Dog. Avatar I have not seen. Is that G? G?
It's RG, yeah.
Oh, no.
I think that the difference between the first half and the back half of this podcast just speaks volumes to the diversity of topic that we seem capable of covering.
Yeah, it's also, this is why we have the show limited to an hour, because there's a trend here. But I think it's probably a good time to remind people about the show that we're doing in a couple of weeks' time, which is the FPV horror stories. So if you have some FPV horror stories, make sure to send them in to letsdroneout@gmail.com. We'll also be probably getting 1 or 2 guests on as well to read out their FPV horror stories. So if you're interested in that, let us know about that as well. But yeah, so what we're looking for, I mean, Jack gave us a little sample on one of the Patreon special episodes, but of times where you've maybe tried to do something and then realized that wasn't the right idea because it ended up covering you in poo, or maybe there's something where there was a very, very close call and was a very clenched buttocks moment. So, I mean, Jack inspired it, so there's lots of poo references. But anytime where kind of something's gone horribly wrong or almost went horribly wrong, or you've just decided that what seemed like a good idea at the time is not a good idea, we want to hear about those. And we'll try and either read them out or get you on the show to read it out.
Does it have to be about drones?
I think FPV, radio control, aviation,
anything RC then.
something in that kind of vein is what we're looking for.
Okay.
I don't think there'll be a shortage of material. Personally, I think it will be.
Yeah, if you
Everyone
want
got some stories.
If you want to,
We want videos too, don't we? We can share.
But we preferably want to be able to read it in a way that kind of you can imagine the torch being held under your face around a campfire is what we're looking for. Those kinds of stories. So send them in to letsdroneout@gmail.com.
yeah, and
Stories
make sure
and pictures if you've got them.
And pictures if you got them.
Yeah, make sure as well if you want someone to read it out, make sure you write who you want to read it out. So,
You, because you got a bit of a weird voice tonight.
have I? I don't know.
Yeah, you
Buy
sound,
Jack stickers. Yeah,
you sound a bit funny, Jack. Are you all right?
yeah, I'm all right.
Okay.
Hello, Tony.
See? You got a sore throat or something?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Any kind of cough that we should know about?
I've got
Tony now works for the Corona Inquisition.
Lean
Tony,
forwards.
you can get a fine for falsely accusing someone of having corona, forcing them to isolate.
In other news, changing the subject quickly. Next week we will have Gail back on, Gail Orenstein, and she'll
Girl from 3 years ago.
so she'll be telling us about the 32 countries that she's been flying drones in the intervening time, but also she wants to get into FPV proper. So she's been flying loads of sort of not DJI, but the kind of the aerial photography drones and flying them around in humanitarian and disaster areas and those sorts of places and getting them into interesting places and using them for journalism. But now she's specifically seen some Johnny FPV videos and has thought actually FPV looks like an interesting thing to get into.
Right, good laugh.
Did you guys see as well? I really liked the Top Gear with Paddy McGuinness and Freddie Flintoff, and I noticed there was a shot that must have been done with like either a Cinewhoop or a freestyle drone. Did any of you guys see that by any chance?
Yep, and I have reached out to the guy who did it.
No way.
I've sent him a Facebook friend request anyway, and I will invite him and see if he's up for coming on the show at some point.
I was like, oh man, this is like the start of, well, not the start because Johnny FPV's been doing it. He's been putting some insane stuff up. I don't know if you saw his balloon with the skydivers thing. That was crazy.
Around TVs 4 years ago. Fuck you lot.
All right, Tony. Yes, we know. Yes, Argos. Was that? Did you have one of those PFCOs to do that, Tony?
No, because I was flying indoors.
Indoors, right? Is this Inspire for flying indoors as well? Is it?
It can be.
You were so nervous. It can be.
If you're indoors, is pretty big. Yes.
But Tony, everyone's indoors because of the big globe that's over the flat Earth. So that's his excuse.
Exactly. That is my excuse.
Mate, can you imagine winning a case course with that? Being like, yeah, he thinks the Earth's flat and, there is no outdoors and we're living in a simulation.
We're all under the dome. We're indoors.
Yeah.
Is that true? Apple had Johnny FPV in their iPhone 12 video.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
But...
I did keep seeing some screenshots of some drone with like literally an Apple phone strapped to the front of it, which seems a very odd choice of a camera.
Yeah, no battery by the looks of it, but
that's mega for FPV though, isn't it? Mega for FPV.
Yep. It's going to be anywhere. It's going to be everywhere soon.
Why haven't we talked about any of this and we've just been talking about fucktards for an hour?
It's better. Come on.
Follow where the fun is.
Yeah.
Sure.
When it stops being fun, stop.
When the fun stops, stop. Exactly.
Top Gear is dead. I've been loving the.
I haven't watched Top Gear.
I haven't watched Top Gear.
It's hilarious. It's a different show, but with Paddy McGuinness and Freddie Flintoff, it's hilarious.
I
especially can't watch anything with Paddy McGuinness in, so I couldn't even watch a clip of it without going.
Must be a northern thing.
Must be.
It's funny, man. It's funny. I like it.
Is he Irish with a name like that, or is he a northerner?
No, he's from Bolton. He's Peter Kay's best mate, Paddy McGuinness.
I love Peter Kay.
I really like it. Give it a try. And there's drone footage in that. They're using a lot by the looks.
Yeah, they were using a racing drone in. If anyone's a fan of Mighty Car Mods on YouTube, like I am, the Australian lads.
Such a great channel, that. Love Mighty Car Mods.
So good. Mad. Yeah. I used to have a Drift Pig t-shirt till I got too fat for it and spilt car oil all over it.
Well, you can send it down to me.
Why?
I'm sure I could use it as a night dress.
Okay, wifey.
Do you know anything about that, Jack?
What, the 390 on top of his?
I think they're just...
Yeah. He bought it on my stream.
He did. Crazy man.
Oh, that's what it was. I couldn't work out what it was. It was trying to take off. I could see the
It was a
fan. I'm
brand
like,
new graphics
what is
card.
this thing? That's the thing he kept. If you watch Drax stream for a while, Tony had to phone up Jack and fill in because Steele was so busy trying to buy that card, which seemed really hard to get out of.
I was watching a stream and I was like, oh, I've got to
dying.
I better call my husband. He looks like he's panicking.
I know. It really did ruffle me to the
I
point
know. I
where
saw it in your
I've had a load of trolley comments as well. Like,
well, you've
Welcome
got-
to YouTube, Jack.
exactly.
Just
I
wait till
know.
you get some sent lovely pictures on Facebook.
mate, I love that, man. That was so funny. So you haven't got a problem with arming your quad?
So far, it's only you though, and you've had 2 of them.
Yeah,
but
I've
he's
had
like
like
a
4 of them
little
now.
twink. That's why. He's
what
perfect
now?
for that.
But yeah, Jack, if you will interview Steele on your channel, then you should expect some more attention, and therefore
Fruity
still a
behaviour.
small percentage of trolls is going to be more of that.
Yeah.
And that's just us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to
love
read
you,
out
MJ.
some names quickly before we go. So thanks for tuning in, Tailspin, Win, Mr. Shaded, Richard Warwick, FPV SE, who I went mountain biking with, Stelcos, Numbskull. Let's go for Mr. Fruity Cakes, Zero. Thank you, Richard Warwick, Jibber Jabber, Audio Geek. Who else have we got?
Lurgy.
Got where Lurgy's in there.
Oh, Lurgy, I miss you, boy.
Dean, Clive.
Hasn't called me for a while.
Keep going up, Tony. Is anyone else?
Did you
Mr.
guys-
Shady.
Did you guys convince Ladrib to come on LDO soon?
Thanks everyone for tuning in and watching us.
No chance,
Cool.
man.
Ladrib's cool. I'd love to have him in.
You ask him to come on.
Owen,
He won't do it, I don't
He
think.
don't know me. He's you, Jack. On one of Josh's streams, actually, when Ladrib came in the chat, everyone was like, "Get on LDO, get on LDO." So yeah, he didn't reply to that, but
I wonder why that is. Anyway, Jack, do you want to call us out?
I ask him and I say that Jack won't and Tony won't be on. You can do what you want. And see if it'll come on then. No worries. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. You've been joined by tonight Andrew / Frank,
Hi.
my little wifey,
bonjour.
everyone's favourite fucktard,
Goodbye.
the sexiest man in FPV,
good evening.
the sexiest man in rock and roll,
That's MJ.
Okay, I'll take that one. Hello, guys.
and the worst person who built the crappiest thing out of the box and still somehow lost, Brian Live. Thank you, guys.
Oh, bitterness. I love it.
Victory snatched from me.
Please